Hello Taurus, and welcome to my channel, Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements, looking at your recent past, your current energy, and your immediate future, answering the question, what do you need to know right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self? Friendly reminder that these are general readings and they are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So do please remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and to leave what does not. Last thing is that any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading or coaching session with me is in the description box below. All right, Taurus, let's jump on in. We are going to start with looking at overall energy for the reading with oracle cards first, and then we'll dive deeper into the story with tarot as we progress. So let's see what we've got here. This is looking at Taurus's recent past, current energy, and immediate future. Starting with, what does Taurus need to know regarding their recent past? What has Taurus been dealing with, and what do they need to know about it? Attune to the divine. Lighten up. Then you have honoring your feelings on the bottom. This is definitely giving this energy that things have been and felt very heavy. Maybe it has to do with things going on around you. Maybe you're dealing with personal situations on top of things going on around you. Like, I just feel like this has been a very difficult, very heavy, you've been dealing with a very difficult, very heavy time. And I feel like it has affected your connection to maybe the universe, your higher self, to faith. There's kind of this energy of distrust here in some sense, and not in the sense that you're wrong for feeling that way. I feel like that's why you have honor your feelings here. But I do feel that there has been, because you've been going through such a difficult time, this has created some sort of disconnect in your life. Again, maybe whether it's to your spiritual connection, whether it's to like a person that you're dealing with, to yourself even maybe. So let's get more here. What is Taurus dealing with in their current energy? Think it through. Reveal what needs to be seen. Then you have talk less and feel more. I feel like what this is kind of referring to, and to be honest with you, this seems to be a theme for earth signs right now. Granted, I've only done Capricorn and Virgo, and then obviously I'm doing Taurus right now. I haven't done any of the other signs for like this round of reading. So this could be just a general collective theme, but I've been seeing it in a lot of readings, this energy of like, there's a lot going on behind the scenes when it comes to a situation that you're not aware of, and things are not as bad as it might feel or seem. And I think that in addition to that, sometimes we get ourselves really stuck in the energy of insecurity and fear. And sometimes when we're really deep in that, we start to see our reality through that lens. So things start to feel and seem way worse than it actually is. Now, that doesn't mean that your feelings aren't valid and that you shouldn't be feeling the way that you are. But, I think one of the most important things when we're going through a difficult period is to remember that things can always get better and that everything is temporary. Now, with this reveal what needs to be seen, I do also feel like there are some like deeper truths that are needing to come through for you, whether it's truths about something you're needing to do or just something that you're needing to know. I'm not quite sure, but I do definitely feel like right now is not a time to react, but really to process. Process what's going on around you, process the way that you are feeling about everything. And I think that clarity will come so that you know what it is that you need to or can do, especially if you are feeling a little bit lost right now. What does Taurus need to know moving forward? Focus on the positive. I want to address what that really means, though. Take a reality check. What else here? I wanted one more. Leave the past behind. Find a balance. Okay. So when we talk about just in spirituality, focusing on the positive, I think a lot of times it can be taken as this idea of like toxic positivity, which is, just be positive all the time, focus on everything good and ignore everything bad. And that isn't realistic, nor is it healthy to anybody. But sometimes we have to find that balance between learning to recognize that things aren't what we want them to be, or that things aren't going the way that we had planned, or that they're not in alignment with what we desire, but that also means that things can get better. And learning to hold both truths can really help us navigate difficult periods, because it can help us understand that just because life is a certain way right now doesn't mean that it's going to be like that forever. And I do very much feel as if you're shifting into kind of a lighter energy, because again, I feel like this has really been really heavy, that whatever it is that you've been dealing with, whatever it is you've been going through, and I feel like you are shifting into a little bit of a lighter energy, but your mindset is going to play a really, really big role in that. And if you're focusing on all of the things that are going wrong and all of the things that are negative without also giving energy, or even potentially, if you can, more energy to what is good, you might find yourself getting really stuck in that darkness and that hard place, if you will. So I do feel like things are improving. I don't know what this is talking about. Some sort of situation, some sort of something going on around you, or something that you're dealing with. I do feel like things are improving, but I also feel like the universe is kind of helping you get through this period by allowing you to or pushing you to kind of let go a little bit, to trust the process, to go with the flow, because I do feel that things are going to progress for you. But I have learned that life is, you never get to a point on your journey, on a healing journey, a spiritual journey, where everything is just good all the time, right? But you do get to a point where the negative things aren't so taxing, and they don't feel as difficult, because you have the faith to know that you can get through anything. You have that strength, you have that belief in the support of the universe. And the more that you can tap into that, the easier it is to get through times when things are not where you want them to be. But in general, I just kind of feel this energy of feeling a little bit lost, unsure about where you're headed, about what's next. And that's natural and that's normal. And again, honor your feelings when it comes to everything you're dealing with. But I do feel like things are going to improve for you here in this future energy. But let's get an overall theme of this reading for you, Taurus. This is my intuitive life coaching deck, which I obviously love because I am an intuitive life coach. I've only used it for a couple of readings so far for other people. I've used it for myself quite a bit, but let's see what we've got coming through for you. I feel like these messages in this deck are just really grounded and tangible. I feel like you'll see what I mean when I get there, but what is Taurus's overall theme of this reading? I want to pull one more. These cards are really hard to shuffle because this deck is humongous. It barely fits in my hands. And I know there's alternative ways to shuffle, but I've always done it like this. I'm probably always going to do it like this. Once you've been doing something a certain way for so long, it's hard to break that habit. One more here for Taurus. Oh, a couple more. Okay. Interesting. Okay, you've got 4 here. Speaking up, authentic self-expression, connection, and universal flow. So the speaking up card says your soul is guiding you to stand in your light and speak your truth. Authentic self-expression, this one says be true to who you really are and your life will change in the most amazing ways. Connection says you are very connected to the heavenly realms. And then universal flow says it is time for you to slow down, breathe, and take time to smell the roses. I had mentioned going with the flow and kind of letting things be as they are. One of my favorite quotes is, peace is the result of retraining your mind to process life as it is rather than as you think it should be. The more that we can try to be our own light in the periods of time where things are really heavy and hard, the easier that life actually gets. And I feel like this is where you're really being asked to stand tall in your light and your truth, to trust in your truth at that, and to believe that because if life is a flow, it means that there's going to be periods where things aren't as good, but there are also going to be periods where things are really, really good. And I feel like you're kind of been on this roller coaster, but I feel like you're coming to like this energy where things are starting to improve, but your belief and how connected you are too, because you have attuned to the divine and then you have this connection, right? So your belief and how supported and guided you are is really, really important right now. Like, I feel like right now is really a time to lean on your faith. And I will say, like, remember that faith is not a feeling. You're not supposed to just feel 100% supported and guided all the time. Faith is an action. It's a way in which you show up. You show up believing you're guided and supported. Show up believing that things are going to improve and get better. Because as soon as you stop showing up believing that things can improve and get better is the exact moment where your fear starts to really take over. And it's hard and it's difficult. But I feel like right now is a time to really like I said, stand in your light, which is going to require you to lean pretty heavily on that connection to the universe. I don't feel like things are like, I don't know. It feels like things are heavy. I don't necessarily know if they're bad. It just feels like they're heavy for you right now. Maybe you're carrying a lot. You're watching, like, it's like you're dealing with like things around you, more so than maybe directly impacting you. I feel like I could still be talking to people who are directly impacted, though. All right, Taurus, let's look at this past energy. Lighten up with attune to the divine. So this is where we start to get a little more specific. Okay, what card just came out there? The Eight of Wands. Set pass for Taurus. Ooh. Knight of Cups in reverse, Four of Swords in reverse. I mean, this is being in a space and in an energy where things are incredibly emotional. You have this Four of Swords in reverse, which is all about your soul being really burnt out. This King of Swords is, I feel, Taurus, like you're very strong-minded. There's kind of this energy of you can probably pretty much get through anything that you need to get through. But it also feels like maybe you're starting to doubt your own strength, or you're just tired. You're tired of getting through things. You're tired of dealing with things. You're tired of things being heavy. And I feel like you've started maybe even believing that things are never going to get better. I know that when I was going through the most difficult period in my life, the longer that period went on, the less faith that I had that things were going to get better. But then the more that I lost my faith, the harder it was to show up trying to create better and trying to stand in that power. So that's completely normal and completely natural. And it's not necessarily that you're doing anything wrong. I just feel that this reading is about maybe reattuning to that connection and that belief that you are supported by something bigger than you, even if you don't really understand right now. Something that I'm really drawn to is these two cards came out together. You have this Hermit and this Page of Cups, and you see that there's this extension, right? They're extending something. They have a light, and then this Page of Cups has a cup with a fish in it. I feel like in what I really see is like this energy of giving, right? This energy of showing up, this energy of giving out your energy, of putting a lot into something, but maybe not feeling like you're getting back what it is that you wanted, or maybe even feeling like it's pointless. Like no matter how much you give or no matter what energy you show up in, it just doesn't seem to really matter, but it does matter. It matters more than you might even know. I do feel that there are, like I said, these positive shifts that are kind of on the horizon here, but I also feel that your ability to really get to experience those to the fullest is going to be directly dependent on your faith. And like, I know I keep talking about faith, and I talk about it a lot, not just in readings, but in my coaching sessions as well, because if there's anything that I've learned, it's that the extent to which we believe that things are working out for us is the extent to which we experience things working out for us. Because if you break down the law of attraction, your thoughts become your beliefs become your actions become your reality. So if you believe that things are working out for you, you're going to make decisions that align with things are working out for me, things are going to improve, things are going to get better. You're going to take little steps here and there, which are going to create bigger changes at the end of the day. But when you stop believing that things can get better, you stop showing up, right? You stop trying to make change. You stop trying to essentially, you stop trying to believe because you're just tired of waiting for things to get better. So I feel like this is really, you've been going through like this test of faith almost. This feels like a very spiritual reading and also very specific, but it feels like you've kind of been going through this test of faith. And I feel like it's not in the sense that like the universe is like testing you, quote unquote, but it's almost like, you know, when we are in kind of like dark periods of our life, when things are difficult and hard and heavy, the more that we show up in faith and the belief that things can get better, the more that we actually experience positive change at the end of the day. It's almost like I like to look at it as an opportunity. It's an opportunity to stand in your light, to show up in that light, not just for you, but for others, and to trust that that is going to lead to good things at the end of the day. So I completely would understand like why you're struggling with that, why you're struggling with believing that things can improve and get better, and that the universe really does have your back, especially if you've been dealing with a lot for a long time. But I do still really believe that things are going to improve for you. Current energy here for Taurus. Reveal what needs to be seen with think it through. And again, I still get this like vibe that right now is not a time to make assumptions or to jump to conclusions about like where things are at in your reality, because I do really feel that things are better than you think they are. Current energy here for Taurus. Unsafe. There's this energy of feeling really unsafe right now. And maybe that's because you've been struggling for a long time. So Page of Wands in reverse with the Six of Wands. Maybe feeling unsafe financially, feeling unsafe emotionally. You have the Eight of Cups in reverse, the Moon, and the Seven of Pentacles. Okay. Oh, Taurus, we're feeling a little bit lost, and almost like it's like you've had hope for so long that things were going to get better, that they were going to change, that they were going to progress, and they just haven't in the way that you wanted them to. And that has very much, yeah, but there you are, Queen of Pentacles with the World. That just very much, it's like when you have hope, you know, for a long period of time, but then things don't improve, like it's going to be hard to continue to have hope, right? At some point it just feels like it feels futile, or it feels pointless, because it's like, well, if I hope, things don't get better. So, and then if I hope, I get, you know, I'm disappointed. So I might as well just not hope. Therefore, I cannot be disappointed. I used to actually say, expect the worst and you'll never be disappointed. But what I didn't realize is that my expectations were the root of my results, were the root of my reality. So right now, where you're at, like, I feel for you. And I am sorry that you guys are going through so much right now, because this does feel like kind of on this verge, on the edge of hopelessness, on the edge of, man, things are never going to improve. They're never going to get better. But here's something that I've learned. It is always darkest before dawn. Things are always harder right before they get better. Things are always, you know, as seemingly as bad as they can get right before they improve. And it's hard to hold out for that when you've been disappointed for so long. But I feel like that is what this reading is really like. That's why I feel like this reading is so important, is knowing that there are so many things that are out of your control right now. But what is in your control is how you show up, right? It's how you show up. And showing up believing that things can get better, that things can improve, is going to be an incredibly important action for you to take right now, whatever that looks like for you. Whether it is just like what you're speaking into your existence. You have speaking up with that authentic expression card, like making sure that you're saying things are going to improve, things are getting better, there's light at the end of the tunnel. Like all of those things I feel like are really incredibly important for you right now. And I feel like sometimes it's hard to deliver these messages too, because I remember when I was at, my lowest point, and I had everybody around me, including spiritual teachers and, friends and family telling me like, it's going to get better. Like things are going to get better. Things are going to improve. It's going to be okay. And I remember just being like, oh my gosh, you don't even know. Like they're not, because they haven't, and they haven't for so long. So why would I keep believing that they're going to? Like I've been there, and I really do get it. But when you're feeling lost and a little bit deep in that darkness and that difficult energy, that you have to be your own light. And that light is going to be this faith, even if it's small, even if it feels difficult to access. Like your faith in the belief that things can get better is what is going to carry you through those times. You have focus on the positive with leave the past behind. What does Taurus need to know about this future energy? See, this just feels like positive shifts, like leaving behind this cycle, because that's why, like, literally, the closer you get to closing out a cycle, the closer you get to the end of a difficult period, the harder things feel, the harder things seem. But it really feels like things are not as bad as it might look. And I don't want to downplay your experience or like take away from what you're going through, but just trying to give you a different perspective that maybe you don't have the full story. Maybe there's more to it than you might think. I like the Five of Cups in reverse coming out. I think that that's really important. And then the Nine of Swords in reverse. It's like, oh, I get it. Gosh, right now is such a period of having faith in the unknown, having faith in the belief that things are working out better than you think. And then it's like, you're not going to be disappointed with how things turn out, and you don't have anything to really fear. That doesn't mean you're not going to fear the disappointment or that you're not going to fear. But what it does mean is that you can choose to rise above that fear. You can choose to rise above the anxiety and the fear and the doubt and all of the things that might be swirling around your head right now. Because this strength, I feel like this is you. Taurus, you're stronger than anything that you are having to deal with right now. And I get like what it's like to just be tired of being strong, to be tired of like getting through things. But I do feel that on the other side of this, there are some really positive things for you. I mean, this is the second time we're seeing the sun, but it's going to require you to step into the belief that this can be a possibility, because this is ahead of you. But it's like, it's almost like and this is what I've seen a lot, and not just my own journey and experiencing it from what I went through, but also in the lives of others that I've kind of helped on this journey, is that when you get into this belief that things are never going to be better, that things are never going to improve, that you spent so many years or so many days or months or whatever wishing that things are going to get better and they didn't, and you almost affirm to yourself this belief that they can't get better, they can't improve. And then when that is your belief, you are guaranteeing that is your reality. You are guaranteeing that things are never going to get better. You're guaranteeing that, things are always going to be exactly as they are. But the more that you can shift into a faith-driven belief over a fear-driven one, and it's not all the time, but it's as many times as possible. The more that you can show up believing that things can improve and get better and that you can get to where you want to, the more that you do in those little moments, that you show up in that energy, the more you create a reality that if reflects that back to you. Your beliefs are the root of everything that you experience in this life. And it sounds like cheesy, I guess, but like it is actually so very true. And when you hold beliefs that are so fear-driven, things can never improve, things can never get better, I'm always going to be disappointed, things are never going to work out for me. When that is like the rule book that you live by, you are going to be right. That is going to be the reality that you create. That is going to be the reality that you experience. And you, again, you don't have control over a lot, but you do have control over what beliefs you choose to show up in. And eventually, those beliefs do become feelings. So again, I said this at the very beginning, that it feels like this has kind of been this like distrust. There's this distrust almost in the universe, in spirit, divine, higher self, whatever resonates with you, God. And that is understandable. But right now, I feel like you're really being asked to have that blind faith as much as you can and to trust in and the greater good, I guess, the bigger plan, the bigger idea. I don't even know what this is necessarily referring to. But I do think that things are going to, I feel like when you get to where you're going, you're not going to be disappointed with how things turn out. I feel like what this is you are still in the middle of a journey, but you're looking at it as like the end, the destination. You're looking at this and you're saying, this is where I'm going to end up. But you're literally just in the middle of a journey. And I feel like you're going to get where you want to be, or things are going to turn out better than you think when you get to the other side of this. It's required a lot of strength, a lot of courage. I've really learned it's easy. It's easy to not believe. It's easy to give up. It's easy to doubt. It is really freaking hard to have faith. It is really hard to keep showing up believing that things can get better. But that will always lead you to a better reality than allowing your fear and your doubt to completely take over. Which I know is it's understandable and it's easy for that to happen because, especially if you've been through a lot, because like I said, you've been dealing with some really heavy energy here, Taurus. So I don't want to take away from that by any means. But, one of the things that I really like about the idea that your beliefs create your reality is that it does give you a sense of control. There's something there that you can now focus on. You can focus on the things that you tell yourself. You can focus on the way that you speak about yourself and about your life to yourself and to others. You can change the way that you show up. You can either believe things are never going to get better, or you can believe that things can actually improve. And it doesn't mean you're going to feel like that all the time. Remember, faith is an action, not a feeling. But again, I do very much feel like things are, there are positive shifts on the horizon here. But like I said, your faith is going to be a really important factor. All right, I'm going to hop on over to the extended. I'm going to dive deeper into these messages, looking at what you need to do right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self. So really kind of focusing on some more tangible advice for you, Taurus. Thank you so much, as always, for your support of my channel. I do obviously hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, I wish you nothing but love and healing and all of the wonderful things that you deserve and desire on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Taurus.